Good morning, people. Welcome to day 4 of our self talk episodes. Day 4 has already come. Today, I'm gonna be talking about top 3 ideas that I have learned, and I think that, like, recently I needed to hear this, so I wanted to share this with you all as well. And the first idea is probably the biggest and golden advice it can be is actually we are now in the spotlight effect. What I mean is, we always think that everybody cares about us. We always think that, well, people give a thought about what we do, about our actions, but in fact, they don't do anything. I mean, they don't even think. They just look at us, or they just maybe reacting to our actions just out of curiosity, but they don't really think because they have their own problems, they have their own lives. So everybody is actually obsessed with their own problems, and you should not be thinking like, well, they are not caring about this. What would they say about this? How would they react to this if I do this or that? And this is the thing that I think everybody fails of, or in most of the time in our lives we just cannot do the things because of thinking like this. I mean, because we always think that people actually care about us. But the first advice that I can give you, or the first insight, is people do not care about you. People do not care about you at all. Maybe they are reacting, as I said, just out of curiosity, nothing else. Just observe this. Just put yourself into their shoes. If you would just see somebody who was doing something different, how would you react? You would look at that person, right? You would stare at that person. It's also the same for everybody. Just look at everybody. I mean, look at the big, huge population as one individual, as every individual. Like, maybe you're confused here, but the idea is the minds are totally separate. Their minds are totally separate. Just think like if you were like every one of them. If you were one and one, not like, for example, when we look at people, when we look at the population, we always like look at them from the, how can I say, like total perspective. We don't look at them from the individual perspective. I mean, total perspective is we think like everybody's thinking the same, everybody's doing the same, but if you were in their minds, if you were each and everyone's minds, it's individual perspective, by the way, you would know how they're feeling, and you might be also there in the, like, for example, if somebody is doing different, you would be just staring and like looking at that person out of curiosity, right? And you would be there if you were to put your mind, that's what I think, some kind of unique thing. And second idea is that I have also noticed one thing. I used to think like the people who used to give me some negative comments, I thought would be reacting to my actions kind of differently, or negatively as well, because I thought if I would do this, they might also give a negative comment. They would not be satisfied from my actions. I was thinking like this, but recently I've noticed that the things that I was doing, even though they looked a little bit stupid to me and they didn't look so great to me, those friends of mine were like, oh man, just keep up, keep doing this thing. I mean, I'm not talking about YouTube, by the way, I'm talking about other things. And I thought like those people would never like react like this. So it leads to our third idea, which is we suffer most of the time in our we suffer imagined troubles. We always imagine every problem. We always like think negatively, and we are the ones who create this problem. We are the ones who actually see the situations as good and bad. Actually, there is no like good and bad situation. We react to this, we like accept them as good or bad. It's all up to us. That's why, I mean, in stoicism, for example, as well, there is one quote by, I think, Marcus Aurelius. He said like, we suffer most of the time imagined troubles. Yeah, that's for sure. I mean, we before doing something, we overthink, we just think, well, what if there would be this problem, or what if there would be another problem, or another. So all the time, it's not perfect time. We are always like overthinking, and this leads to procrastination most of the time, and it leads to, things not getting things done. And I always say, like, do not overthink, just do it. And this is what I have also learned, and this is, by the way, bonus tip. And I had been reading Atomic Habits again, and I think this is a very powerful book. Don't look at it like it's the bestseller, everybody's reading it, so I don't have to read it, because if it were a really useful or hard book, nobody would read it. No, it's not like that. It's very useful, that's why I recommend you to read this. The idea is, if you just make things simple, if you start things, the things you want to do, really want to do, with small steps, you would more likely to proceed. And this idea came to my mind, like, okay, I want to do this thing, but I want to start it with small steps. What matters the most to me is consistency, not just doing the hard work, first of all. Well, while you're starting, you can start very small, and once you build up that kind of consistency momentum, you can proceed. I mean, you can do the hard work, you can do intensive work after that. But the most important thing to me is building like habits, making it habit, making the things you want to do habit, so you won't have any kind of resistance. I mean, it will be your second nature, it will be the thing that you think it's normal to do. So I think it's very like useful for like making things like habit, or just starting them with small steps. If you want to read books, just read maybe 1 page or 2 pages, but make it like really easy to do, and make it more rewarding to do. For example, you don't have to like reward yourself with some kind of chocolate or some kind of physical things. You can get like this kind of really high dopamine by completing tasks, and that's how you can get the reward from doing tasks. So make things like small, don't overcomplicate things, don't overthink them, just put small steps and you will get things done. And by focusing on only small steps, and by focusing on one simple thing, you will for sure get your thing done. Yeah, that's it from me, guys. And let's recap what I said. First of all, I said, people do not care about you, they have their own problems. So avoid the spotlight effect. I mean, spotlight, in the cinema, or I mean in theater or somewhere, to show the actor, right?